Hello, spooky, scary people. I'm Sadie Bell, and today, Halloween is just around the corner. So we're going to be making some cosplay for a Halloween party. When I was a child and I used to play dress up all the time, Halloween was purely reserved for spooky dress up. But now I'm an adult and I don't play dress up nearly as often as I would like. Halloween is just an excuse to dress up as anything, spooky or not. And today, the cosplay I'm going to be making is going to fall into the not spooky category. Unless you count the fact that it's mainly orange, and orange is an inherently spooky color, in which case, it's spoopy. This year, I'm very excited because I'm going to be making my dream cosplay, Chell, the protagonist from the Portal and Portal 2 games. Specifically how she looks in Portal 2. That game is my favorite game, I think. I'm pretty sure that's my favorite video game. I love Kingdom Hearts, I love the original PS1 Rayman game, but Portal 2 just takes the cake. For this cosplay to be complete, we need quite a few components to come together. So we need the jumpsuit and tank top combo, we need the long fall boots, the GLaDOS potato, and of course, the portal gun. Now, a lot of these things are kind of outside of my wheelhouse in terms of crafts I'm used to making, so we're gonna be starting easy and ramping up, which means today we're gonna be doing the jumpsuit. Let's go. That pinning and cutting out pattern pieces onto the fabric is my least favourite part. No matter how many times I tell you something else is my least favourite part, this is my least favourite part. So I'm procrastinating. Look at this! Orange portal. Blue portal. Now we got mood lighting. I'm a bit worried I don't have enough fabric. Looking at the sheer length of some of these pattern pieces, I mean, that's a front panel. There's so much there and I need two. And the back panel is just as bad, if not worse. Also, this isn't even the entire length because there's a little bit that fits onto the bottom of it because the pattern piece was too long for the actual sheet of tissue paper. I should have looked at the pattern before I went and bought fabric and seen how much yardage it said because I have a horrible feeling that it says something insane. We're roughly doing the C jumpsuit, which for the medium says you need 5 yards. 5. And to be fair, that's the 45 inch. This is definitely wider than 45 inches. With the 60 inch, you need 3 3/4 yards. Yeah, so that is probably 60 inches. But, like, there's so much here. There's so much fabric here. I can literally completely wrap myself up in this and have some overlap. How is it not enough? How is it not enough? And it's not the end of the world if I have to do more, but obviously I had to dye this and you have to run the machine like 3 times through the longest cotton cycle and it's just a bit of a faff. The Halloween party that I'm going to is in 12 days. So I feel like I've left myself enough time to do this without having to put the Benny Hill theme on repeat in order to make myself work faster. But maybe I haven't. Maybe I haven't given myself enough time. Maybe I could make a Padme look instead. It's like Natalie Portman's in the room. So I have just about managed it with half the recommended fabric, with some slight conditions. This is the absolute bare bones of a jumpsuit that you could possibly get. This is folded in half, this fabric. So we have the sleeves, we have the front panel, the back panel. I'm having to fold over and then I will have to just piece it. But it's on the back of the crotch. No one is going to be looking at that seam. And then we have the collar, which is supposed to be on the fold. So this is supposed to be round that way and on the fold over here, but I can't arrange it like that. Similarly, the sleeve is supposed to be around this way as well because of grain lines. But you know what? Screw the grain lines. I've only got this much fabric and it will be such a waste to get like 3 more yards of fabric just for all of these extras. The other things we've cut out, or not cut out I suppose, is the yoke. All the yoke is really is it lays across the front panel and there's some top stitching here, and as far as I can tell it's just sort of for the look of the thing and for reinforcement, but like we don't need reinforcement. I'm not going to be doing actual aperture science tests in this jumpsuit. We don't have any of these external pockets because I couldn't fit them on the fabric, which, you know, partly is by choice and partly is a bit of a shame. So I did want these pockets because these pockets look really good. They look really big as well. They would have been cool. I can just put internal pockets in for purely functional purposes purposes. And if you look at any of the photos of Chell in Portal 2, this whole top half of the jumpsuit is pulled down and the sleeves are tied around her waist, so you wouldn't really see any of this top stuff anyway. And if I want to add pockets in the future, because these are like patch pockets, they should be fairly simple to add, so that shouldn't be an issue. So this is how you make something with half the recommended fabric. Screw the grain lines, do some piecing, and leave out half of the pattern pieces. But considering that I've only got 8 pattern pieces now, it should mean that it's fairly easy and quick to sew, which, you know, I guess every cloud has a lurid orange lining. So I did something kind of crazy, and I actually pressed the fabric before putting the pattern pieces on it and cutting them out. I've done that now, and the process was like weirdly smooth and not totally awful. Am I growing? Is this character development? So the next step is to put it all together. Okay, so this is one of the front panels. Here's the crotch seam, and then this sticky out bit here is where it's gonna overlap, and on the actual pattern it has a Velcro fastening along here. But I want to do a lapped zip, so it's a little bit more subtle. It's kind of the same sort of idea, but because the actual seam will be here, I need the seam allowance total to be like 1 inch. So I need to trim off some of this. You stitch up to this point, fold half of the seam allowance under 1 inch and half of it under 7/8 of an inch, so that when you top stitch the zip in, there's a little bit of an overlap and the zip will be hidden underneath that. Look at that. Look how sexy that lapped zip is. Oh, and the orange against the white, it's looking real aperture science. Are you ready? Oh, how good is that? It's not super neat at the bottom, especially on the back. We've got a severe case of thread vomit going on down here. But I don't really care, because that looks super cool. So now that we have the front closure sorted, we need to stitch this to the back panels in order to make it something that I will actually be able to wear, rather than something that looks like somebody wearing an orange jumpsuit was vaporized on the floor. That I can put on my body and wear. I'm feeling very TV prison drama core, if that is an aesthetic. Hang on, let's see if you can see it a bit better. Oh dear. So this is where we're at. Obviously the trousers are super long. These have quite a big hem on them, I believe. I think it's like a couple of inches, the hem. And then I'm gonna roll them up anyway, so that's not a problem. What I think I might do is add a white lining on the inside of, if not the whole thing, then at least like the torso part, because so, hang on, let's just try not to show my pants to everyone, shall we? It's very comfy. I can do a proper squat in it, no problem, so that's good. If we have a look at the Portal 2 Bible, this bit here obviously has sleeves are tied around, but you can see where the inside of her jumpsuit there is white. So what I think I will do is, once I've put the collar and sleeves on, I will cut out some lining pieces that at least cover the torso. I'll probably do it big enough so that I can cover the seam allowance that'll be on the arm side, but not like a full lined sleeve. Is on. I'm feeling super cute. The last thing to do is the sleeves and the hemming, but we don't talk about the hemming. We don't talk about hemming, no, no, no. Other than hems, the last thing to do is the sleeves. And before I stitch them on, I need to enhance them, because on the original picture that I showed you, you can kind of see it here, that there are these stripes on the sleeves. So in this model, you can see it better, that on each of her sleeves, she's got a stripe that runs around the sort of top portion of the arm. And you can also see here, there's a gap between that stripe where there is a seam, which is perfect because it means that I can attach the white vinyl that I have to the sleeve and then stitch it up. If you look at
at it in a side view, you can see that that stripe is pretty close to the arm side, so that gives me some idea of placement. Also, if you look at where the other seams are going, and if you just kind of imagine what this would look like when it is put back on her, this looks like it's like the underarm point, which means that the lines are close to the underarm seam, but it doesn't necessarily have to be close to the seam at the top of the arm. What I mean by that is if I put a stripe just along here, that'll still be close enough to the underarm seam that it'll look as it does in the picture, but I don't have to do a sort of a curvy line here to go over the arm. Like, this should just look enough like a circle once I put it on. And the way I'm going to do that is with this iron-on Cricut stuff. Now, I don't have a Cricut thingy, so I'm just gonna have to cut it out by hand and hope that it works. But I will obviously look up some instructions, but I would imagine it's as simple as cutting out a strip, putting it where I need it to be on the fabric, and ironing in some fashion. So let's give that a go. This doesn't come with any instructions. It says matte, so I assume I put the shiny side on the fabric. Do I peel something on the shiny side? I'm not 100% sure what a Cricut machine is, to be honest. Oh my god, I'm gonna have to look up a video tutorial. So, as I understand it, I think I've been saying it wrong. The nice guy on the video said Cricut, because it's like a cricket. I don't know. The machine like makes little cuts into the matte side of the vinyl, I think, and then you do the thing called weeding, where you essentially peel off whatever isn't your design, put that matte side down, iron over that to stick it to the fabric, and then you would peel off the shiny thing. However, I'm not doing a complicated design. I will be when I make the tank top, so it's useful to learn, but for this one I'm literally just doing a stripe, so I don't need to worry about weeding. So all I need to do is cut out a strip and press it, I think. Oh, yes. That is really satisfying, and it feels really smooth. Oh, holy butts. This may be my new favourite thing. That's looking quite aperture science-y. Oh my god, that's so exciting. Yes. My dudes, I just averted disaster. I was about to iron the stripe onto the second sleeve on the wrong side, and then I noticed and nothing was destroyed. No harm was done. I managed to flip it over in time. What's going on with me? When did I become this put together? So level 2 in doing Cricut without a Cricut, because I'm just gonna call it that now because Cricut sounds weird. I'm now looking at doing the Aperture Science logo on the back of the jumpsuit. Now you don't see the back of the jumpsuit in the second one, but in the first one, with the slightly different jumpsuit, there is an Aperture Science logo on the back, shown in this picture here. So I want to pay homage to that, and I just think it needs a little something extra to make it extra Aperture Science-y. We have a very successful half a logo, and I will show you how I did it. In true Blue Peter style, I've got like multiple stages of things I prepared earlier. So basically I printed off 2 of these. I actually only needed to print off 1 of these, realised that afterwards, but this is fine because it's a good example. Printed off 1 of these, cut out the little segments, so I just had like a template. This is the white iron-on vinyl, shiny side down, and then this is the paper template taped on over the top of it. And what we do basically is, with each of the straight lines, I line up my ruler, not super duper pressing, but just lightly go down it and score it like that. So once I've lightly scored these, then I will show you the peeling process because it's really satisfying. I am once again in an Aladdin vest. This is how I'm doing the lining. I am not doing sleeves, I'm not doing legs. I've got to do something about the seams in the legs though, because when I roll them up, they're going to show the raw edges. Should have thought about that before I hemmed them. Never mind. Yeah, this is how I'm doing the lining. I'm just going to fold this over and fix it to the underside of the zip. Maybe I'll just do like a little invisible stitch in the back just to keep the back down so that it's secured from both sides.
I've done it again because of course I've done it again. I've run out of time. I have one day, and when I say one day, I mean half a day because I stayed up really late sewing last night, so I got up at like 11:30. The reason I do this is because I could never rely on myself to get up early. People always say, oh no, it's better to, you know, stop work in the evening, go to bed early, and then just get up early and do it then because you'll be more productive in the morning. But I can't rely on myself to get up early because no matter what time I go to bed, and I'm a bit of an insomniac, so I tend to not be able to get to sleep immediately anyway, no matter what time I go to bed, I will wake up and be like, no, 3 more hours, and just tuck under the blankets and will have wasted all that time. So but basically, I have half a day and maybe a little bit of time tomorrow morning to finish stitching in the lining, make boot covers so that I can have the long fall boots, and make a portal gun. The plan of action is, we're going to put the jumpsuit aside for now because I can finish, the bits that I've got to do is all hand sewing, so I can finish that on the way to London. That's not a problem. The portal gun is important, obviously, but I want it to look good. And so if it's not completely finished, I can just cheat for the party tomorrow and print off a picture of the portal gun and stick it onto some cardboard and just have that with me, because I am going out for Halloween on the actual day on Monday, so I'll have a second chance to air it in the wild. So I will then have Sunday to get some stuff done on that. So portal gun is sort of second priority today. The first priority are the boot covers because the long fall boots are just going to complete the look. I also have to do the vinyl on the tank top, the white tank top that says Aperture Science. That's fine. I can probably just stay up late and do that tonight. So, long fall boots, portal gun, vinyl on the tank top, jumpsuit lining. But before any of that, I need to wash my hair because my god, it looks like I've dipped it in a deep fat fryer at McDonald's. Okay, so the boots I'm going to be using to make a cover are these ones. They're not particularly appropriate for the actual long fall boots because they have a massive platform and obviously they have a heel rather than just being magically heelless. But they're smooth, which is what I need. All of my other heel shoes have little embellishments on and they make my legs look amazing. So the method is start by putting the shoe on the right foot. It's much easier to do on someone else. You essentially drape this stretchy fabric like around the foot, pin the two halves together where it's gonna be, and obviously we do that around the heel as well, and then you can just slip it on over the boot and put some like grippy material at the top so it doesn't fall down. I'm gonna do the base in black and then put some white overlay on it. I like the idea of making boot covers. It's a lot less wasteful than buying a whole new pair of shoes just to kind of destroy them. For me, it kind of reflects the kind of cosplay state of mind. I feel like in costuming in a more traditional sense is like, there are certain ways of doing things, right? You know, if you want to achieve a certain thing with sewing, there are certain methods that are proper. But with cosplay, it's like, your aim is to look like that character by any means necessary. And if that means sewing, great. If that means hot glue gunning, fine. If that means performing some ritual sacrifice and selling your soul to the cosplay gods, it's all valid, you know? I like that state of mind. I feel like that is kind of the basis that I operate on for all my sewing projects. And I don't know, maybe I'm being naive, but I feel like the cosplay community is a little bit more accepting in general of like alternative methods of doing clothing. Okay, that looks simultaneously really weird and really cool. I am tempted just to do this if I don't have shoes that match my outfit. I think while it's still on my leg, I will try and make some chalk markings around it because I feel like when I try and take the boot out, some of the pins are gonna get dislodged. Okay, that was a smart move because I did have to take nearly all of the pins out to get the actual sleeve off. So I've gone over the lines that I could see and made them a little easier to follow with the sewing machine. So let's see how this goes. We are looking pretty good. There's a couple of bits to take in. This is a bit loose, so I can just take that in a bit here. This was really difficult to get over the boot. Funnily enough, when you have all these pointy corners and big clunky heels and funny shapes, and you only give yourself that much room to fit them in, it's quite difficult. So now that we have the base, we need to cover the bits that need to be white. So essentially what I need to do is, I just need to trace around here, and then I can cut out the white bits. Wow, I forgot how much stretch fabric sucks to work with on a sewing machine. It's sewn on, it looks really amateurish,
but I'm hoping that from a distance people won't notice that. And when this is stretched out, I think some of that like waviness will just sort of naturally come out. I swear I don't try and be this cataclysmic when I create things. It just sort of happens, and I really don't know how. Like, I haven't thrown a single thing. It's all just where I've been floor trolling around and exuding craft supplies, apparently. Oh my god, I'm so tired. It's like 3 AM, but I'm so close. Oh my god. We have bootage here. I've put the shoe in it so you can see the shape, and I've split it here. So what we'll do is fold this bit in on itself and create a boning channel and stick some corset boning in there so that this will stay upright when I put it on my foot. And then we just need to put 2 bits of black elastic between here to keep these together and to act like the straps, and then we're done. I'm so tired. Why do I always do this? Why do I always give myself like an impossible deadline? Oh my god, it was worth it. Look at this shit. They actually look like the long fall boots. I am so thrilled. I'm so tired. I'm going to bed. Okay, this took me absolutely ages because it was super fiddly to cut out of the vinyl, but it's finally done. It's a bit rough around the edges, but considering it's all done by hand with a craft knife that is really too big for the purpose, I think it'll do. So I had the first Halloween party 2 days ago, which was great. It went down well. You can tell how great it went because my long fall boots are a little bit, well, they've seen some action. So that was great. But one thing I didn't have for that party is the final piece of the puzzle, the bit that I am most excited about, but also most nervous about, which is of course the portal gun. I have my Halloween work night out tonight, which means I have approximately 6 hours to make this. Now, if I had a 3D printer, this would be so much easier because every single time I see people do this online, it's with 3D printed items, because this is a really, it's not necessarily complex, but it's just very specific and specialized. Lots of weird shaping, lots of little bits here and there. Let me show you the materials I have. The clear tube, a water bottle. The black tube around it, a slightly bigger water bottle. We have black craft foam, floral foam bricks. It's very squishable, it's very moldable, and you can also just like carve bits off of it very easily. So I figure if there's any like awkward shapes, then this will be useful. I've also got kitchen foil. I have pipe cleaners and black tape to put around the pipe cleaners to make those like little wiry bits that connect the back to the front. Finally, I have this, which is white foam clay. I've never used this before, but I've seen Rachel Maxey use it to great effect. And essentially this is like a really lightweight clay. I highly doubt it'll dry in 6 hours, but I will do my best with a hairdryer. There's no time like the present. Right, so my thinking is, I'm gonna have to cut the end off so that I can slot that in. But my thinking is this will slot in here. I can pad out the bottom of this so that it sits a little bit higher. And I think I'm gonna put this end of it at the weird egg-shaped end of the gun, because then not only do we have like sort of an egg-shaped basis on which to build some stuff, but we also then have a little handle so I can go around holding it like this. So to get the sticky bit off the bottle where the label was, I'm just using Surgical Spirit on a cotton ball and just being persistent. It is working. It's just going to take a while. So Surgical Spirit is more or less, as I understand it, the same as what rubbing alcohol is in America. I think it might be slightly different, but it serves the same purpose. Don't confuse it with white spirit. I mean, white spirit would probably get the job done, but just in general terms, I got those two confused. And when I was reading a tutorial on how to rid my houseplant of mealybugs, it said, oh, you can get a Q-tip and dip it in Surgical Spirit and just spot treat any bits on the plant that have mealybugs on them. So I thought, great, I'll do that. And I confused Surgical Spirit with white spirit, which is paint stripper, and the poor little houseplant did not stand a chance. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, this is not going super well. Like, the Surgical Spirit kind of worked, but it also kind of didn't. So I think what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna go to the shop. I'm gonna get the smaller version of this type of lemonade. Okay, so we padded the bottle out with some foil. I've covered it in some black tape. So I have some of this expanding foam tape from when I had to fix something on my car before. It has long since come away from the roll and mostly expanded. There are some bits of it that were still in the roll that haven't expanded yet and don't seem to be expanding now that they're unrolled. But this is okay because the difference in thickness is going to come in handy. I can put the big bits on the outside here, just sort of a few along there, and then cover that in this kind of foam so that we have like this little lip over here. And I can put some of the thin bits on the inside just to sort of cushion the bottle while it's in there. So that'll sort of be in there and they'll just be like a little bit between here so it stays in nice and snug.
It's taking shape, it's taking shape. Turns out this expanding foam tape was a fantastic idea. As you can see, I've got my inner bottle nicely wedged in here. I can take it out if I need, but it's just perfectly positioned, so I'm not going to. And then I've got a bunch of these just building out the shape. The water bottle that I couldn't use originally has come in handy because I cut off the top of it, and this just slides nicely onto the top of the middle water bottle so that I have the little extra length that I need to make like the front of the gun, the rest of it. Okay, I got a bit carried away there and didn't do any filming, but essentially I've stuck a ton of foam over the tape and bits. So these were like little like segments of circles that I stuck on to make that angle. This gappy bit, because that's what it's like, that's what you see when you're like in the game. This is all kind of done, that base bit, and now I need to do the white bits. And I'm really not giving myself a lot of time for this to dry because it's 5:15 and I'm due out at like 7, half 7-ish.
This is really fun to carve with. It's just very satisfying to shave little bits off. However, I am quickly running out of time, so if I had the time I would make a full like over the thing with this floristry foam, but as I do not have the time, I think I'm just going to do the rest by like covering this in foil and shaping it, because I've got like the basic shape here, so this will give it like something to cling onto, and then I can just kind of shape this around like that and then put a bit of foam clay over the top. Should I wash my hands? Probably. Oh, it's so weird. Yeah. Oh, it feels so weird. Oh, it smells familiar. It smells like slime. Oh man, I have a feeling this is gonna be really lumpy. Okay, if I can like squish that flat and just stretch it out, can I just sort of plop it on there? Oh my goodness. This might have been a really stupid idea. I just have a feeling this isn't gonna dry in like half an hour. Ah! What do I do? What do I do? This is genuinely gonna look so awful. It's like royal icing. It's like a fucking Christmas cake. I think I'm just gonna have to take the low budget look and do it with paper. Guys, what is this channel all about? Fabric! I have stretchy fabric left over from the boots. It's not gonna be perfect, but it's gonna look a heck of a lot better than doing that sodding foam clay. Look, I can just stretch it over that and pull it in together at the bottom. And yeah, it's gonna look a little bit lumpy and weird, but I don't care. It'll be the color it needs to be, and super easily because I can just hot glue gun the shit out of it. Okay, I've covered it in duct tape. It's now looking like some weird bug abdomen thing. Now the idea is stretch it over. Please just stick and stay stuck. Please, please. That'll do, pig. Now I've got to put some pipe cleaners on here and I'm done. It looks terrible, but it's Halloween. It'll do. I mean, I'm sort of losing the will to live with how shit this is, but also I don't have a choice. I've just got to continue. This is a pipe cleaner covered in black tape, and I'm starting to think that just a black pipe cleaner would have looked less shit. For the GLaDOS potato, I'm literally just gonna print off the little eye thing because I am just done. I'm so done. In retrospect, I probably shouldn't have started pre-drinking for the night out before finishing the crucial prop. Oh man, this is bad. This is gonna be so bad. At least the rest of it is good. Like, the outfit I am solidly really proud of. It's just the gun that's gonna be terrible. I'm really sorry guys, I'm full on pissed. It doesn't take much. Half a bottle of wine and I'm there. Okay, we got the little wiry doohickeys on. Now we just need the bits. Thing is, we need it in well, ideally we need it in 3 bits, but I don't think that's gonna happen. Yeah, that could be cute. How the heck am I gonna stick that on? There's no way that is going on. Oh, maybe. No, that's gonna be so deadly. That's such a sharp edge. Okay, I'm just gonna have to cut out the edge of these in foam. So I've cut out basically like 2 of each thing and I'm sticking them together so they've got a bit more heft. And then they go on the portal gun. But I'm being serious about this. Don't do what I'm doing. Don't use a craft knife when you've had half a bottle of wine because it's really dangerous and I genuinely nearly just cut my finger off. So please don't do what I've done. Also, I've got so many burns on my hands from the glue gun. And that was before I started drinking the wine. Okay, here we are. They're not super equal, but I'm gonna go with it because they're fit for purpose, you know. They're gonna give the idea of a portal gun, and I think considering I'm completely pissed, this is a good effort and it's gonna complete the look and people are gonna know what this is, you know. So I ran out of time and my printer ran out of ink, so this is the extent of the GLaDOS potato. At least it's a real potato. I'm gonna take it with me and it's gonna be really inconvenient because I have no way of mounting it on my portal gun, so I'm just gonna have to carry it. I totally forgot to film an outro at the time, so now it's like a month and a half later and it's nearly Christmas. So that night was pretty fantastic. The costume went down a treat, a good time was had by all, and my shoes got completely destroyed. Both the long fall boot cover and the actual shoes themselves. I think they're fixable. I have super glue. I'm gonna give it a try. It wouldn't be the first time I've had to fix these with super glue, but these are my favorite shoes, so it's really annoying. I know this has been a long video, so I'm not gonna spend ages wrapping up, but basically, I'm super happy with the outfit. I thought that was great. I would love to make the long fall boots again, but with a little bit more detail in them. The portal gun, that is not the last iteration of the portal gun that I will make. And the next time I do it, I will give myself proper time, materials, and less alcohol towards the end of the process. Not none, necessarily, but less. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time for more Cozy Chaos. Bye! Halloween! That's not when I went to say that. When I was a child and I used to play dress up, that was complete and utter bollocks. Now, a lot of these things are kind of outside of my wheelhouse in terms of crafts. I'm here. I actually pressed them. The next step is to... Oh my god, my throat. Make this into a jumpsuit rather than a 2D jumpsuit. Jumpsuit. I haven't had dinner. Bollocks. Ow! Oh my god! Oh, Christ. Ow! Shit. Oh my god.
god! Oh my god! I found my thimble! I found my thimble! It's been over a month. It's been like a month and a half and I finally found it. Oh my god. Thank you so much for